Hello, everybody listen to me. I'm Luciano from Brazil. My company is Computech, and I'll start talking about a new Mikrotik market that is going to be explored last year using CAPSMAN and indoor networks. I'm here to talk about the high density. For example, an event like this, maybe in the future you have to cover. So I'm here to help you with how to use Mikrotik and CAPSMAN 2 to cover events, high densities like this, 400 people, 600 people, whatever. At first, I'll present some things about the CAPS, and then I'll show you some tips about how to construct the project. Let's see. At first, let me explain to you what is a CAPSMAN. I think it's usual for many people, but we have to pass through it. Control Access Point System Manager is a centralized way to control many access points in the system. The CAPSMAN is used to manage, as I say, and control and bring the traffic to anywhere, or switch, or a router, or a server that you can connect to the internet. The applications are many, like this, like hotels, clubs, free or paid internet services, schools, big companies, govern, whatever you can think, CAPSMAN could be used. Let me tell you about the CAPSMAN market. This market will grow up very much for Mikrotik, for Cisco, for other companies. In this pair of years past, the indoor market grows, the professional indoor markets. Don't compare with the home, the Soho markets, but the professional wireless coverage grows up much more and will grow up much more than the outdoor market. So these applications will be more and more common in your lives. Let's do some requirements for the CAPSMAN network. We need some, obviously, or many APs that we're going to call CAP in the future, in my presentation, according to the project. We have one of these devices, or a server, or a switch, or a Mikrotik router to make the CAPSMAN, to make the controller. A DHCP server, it can be one of this, but you need a DHCP server to provide the IPs. All devices obviously must be connected to the internet or and to the central CAPSMAN. We had to put 6.23 version or later. All Mikrotik with the package WireCM2 installed. Obviously, you have to do the connection between the CAP, the AP, and the controller in the same network using this package. Let's see what CAPSMAN or CAPSMAN 2 can do for you. The basically things that it can do for you is to centralize the wireless network, bring all the traffic, all the data to the central point, control the remote configuration, and control if these remote APs are yours and who are not yours. I'll talk to you in the future about it too. Manage the authentication of the valid APs in a centralized way. This is one of our customers always asking to us. I want to manage all the networks, all my hotel networks, all my club network from my desk. I don't want to go to there to configure, to put a notebook in the remote area. I need to do it in the central point. So the CAPSMAN can help you with that. So we can perform the dreams of all our boss. If you need, for example, a network specifically in a room that's going to have a virtual AP that can go through another link, you can realize you can perform all the dreams that your boss wants to do. If you have a meeting point and you don't want to share the entire network with this point, you can do it using a centralized network. You can create a network, ESS ID to this guy, and this can connect through this link. Let's do the other side of the part. It's called CAP, the control access point. Is the remote guy, is the access point in the end of the line. It provides the wireless connectivity, it makes the encryption. The remote AP is no longer a standalone AP, but is converted to a CAP and connected to the CAPSMAN in a central point. The connection is made using MAC layer 2, IP layer 3. The data connection is not secure, so you need to use a tunnel to guarantee the security between them. The connection, basically in the layer 2, you don't need IP address in the CAPs, in the remote guys. All of them must be cable connected in the same layer or connected to the layer 2 over a VPN tunnel. It's possible to connect the CAP to the CAPSMAN also. The connection is made using certificates. The certificates guarantee and assure that the CAP belongs to the CAPSMAN. So if you don't have certificates, you don't have authentication. You cannot guarantee if this CAP is yours or not. And the most important is you need certificates mutual in both sides to assure that, to guarantee that AP is yours and avoids anybody to put an intruder AP on your network. The certificates are required to the lock from the CAP to the CAPSMAN. Certificate guarantee your network property. Certificate prevents an outsider AP to be adopted in the controller. And certificates avoids, Mikrotik creates a unique name to each AP that avoids the MAC clone. Even I have another Mikrotik, even I have another, with the same MAC address, I cannot go in your network because I don't have the certificate. So let's do the second part. As I promised, I'll try to help you to give you some tips about how to create a Mikrotik high-density networks using the CAPSMAN I told you before. And I'll try to show you some Mikrotik creative combinations a little later. Some factors we need to consider when we are projecting a new CAPSMAN indoor networks. The first one is the physical size of the network. I want to know how many walls, how many objects, how many things I have in my networks, the size of the rooms, and other things. The second important reason or important factor is the users. How many users will be in the event, will use the internet, or if they are going to use the local area network, which application, if demands very, very much bandwidth or not. And the fourth is the budget. If my client, my customer, has money to pay for my project. Well, let's consider three different combinations and ways to do an event, or cover a hotel or club or whatever. The first one is I call low density, is when you have few access in a room, few access in an application. When I use 2.4 BGN only, I can share only 15 megabits per crowded AP. Imagine a crowded AP when I have less airtime, with a maximum for a good project for 15 stations per AP. The problems of low density project is obviously few bandwidth. Spectrum in 2.4 range is restricted. Usually you have old CPS, low capacity. Some old CPS only have the B mode, for example. This will decrease the performance of the entire network. And the range, the signal range should be -30 to -75. So it's low density network. Let's do the next. When I have more users, more need of bandwidth, we need to think about medium density. For me, the medium density today is the best way we can do now for budget, for the budget factor and facility to implement. For me, medium density is today is the best way to set up our projects. The APs now are 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. The most of CPS drivers has the capacity to connect when I have two networks, one in 2.4 and one in 5 gigahertz, to connect in 5 gigahertz. So the bandwidth of the 2.4 range, 2.4, stays a little more free, until 15 megabits per AP. So we have more than 2 times the old capacity, the low density capacity, and we can triple the station per AP number. The benefits are more spectrum, newer CPS. As I told you, they have the capacity to connect in 5 gigahertz networks, more channels. In 5 gigahertz, we have much more spectrum than in 2.4. Enable signal levels between -30 to 81 in 5 gigahertz, and keep 75 in 2.4. So I have to be 6, even using a higher frequency, you have to be 6 dBm more sensitive than in 2.4 to compensate the higher frequency. So the coverage area is almost the same, almost. The third, it's a newer third, using 2.4, 5 gigahertz, and 5 gigahertz AC. The performance got better until 80 megabits per AP, and the stations are higher too. We can talk about 80 stations per AP. Imagine 10 APs, we can go to 800 users using the internet in a room. It's too much. The benefits are more spectrum, newer CPS, obviously, 2, more channels, and enable signal levels -30 to -75. AC coverage is a little shorter than the A coverage. So we have to pass to the -75. and keep minus 75 for 2.4 gigahertz. 5 gigahertz AC needs 6 dBm more signal to modulate. So we need to be a little more restricted when you're going to use AC. The benefits are much more customers per area. Here is a comparison and a graphics for low density, 10 users, 10 APs, 2.4, 150 megabits, 150 users. The airtime used is 1 megabit per user online. Only 3 channels, and you need a distance of 200 feet between APs, open space, or you have to count on brick walls. So if you have a too big and open space, you cannot use this solution, only this solution. You will fail. I'll talk to you more in the future about it. Medium density, as I told you, for me, is the best combination for today because you don't have much to spend much budget and you have more capacity than only using the low density. Using 10 APs, for example, 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, you can reach 500 megabits and 450 users online. 400 megabits, it's too much, even for a big event. 16 more channels, as I told you, plus 3 channels using 5 gigahertz, and a distance could be 100 feet between APs, 5 gigahertz open space, and you can interweave a dual band, 5 gigahertz plus 2.0 gigahertz, and you can put in the middle only one equipment with 5 gigahertz to reuse the channel in the next one in 2.4 again. So you can interweave 2.4 plus 5 gigahertz and only 5 gigahertz to catch the traffic. High density using AC is basically the same. You can do 10 APs, 800 megabits, 800 users, the same channelizing, 16 gigahertz plus 3, and almost the same way to project. So when you have open space, you have to respect the distance between 2.4 APs. Here we can show you a graphic using the 3 low, medium, and high density. Observe that in the medium density here, you have much bandwidth with low budget and compatibility to more equipments. I'll show you more in the future too. And 2.4 plus AC, you have much bandwidth, but you have much budget. And you have only 2.4, you have few budget. You have to spend few budget, but you have few performance. So today, in the middle, will be the best choice. Oh, you can ask, exist today 5 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz AC CPS? Yes, I can show you more. Here are a list of some gigahertz, 5 gigahertz CPS that you can use in indoor networks. iPhone 4, iPhone 5, iPad, iPad 3, mini iPad, all the Galaxies, all the notebooks, more famous, and many others. Since 3 years ago, all the equipments are having 5 gigahertz wireless LAN. Some AC 5 gigahertz today. The iPhones, the iPhone 5S, iPad Air, mini iPad Air, Galaxy, all notebooks, newer. from 2013 to today, all the devices, all the equipments have AC connection in their networks. So it's easy to project a 5 gigahertz indoor or a 5 gigahertz AC indoor networks. It's being easier and easier each day. Well, here is a list of the 2.4 equipments. iPhone 2, anybody has one? No? iPad 1, Motorola PT 550, Orinoco cards, anybody use this? Anybody remember this? Yeah, I remember. So this is old network. One of the conclusions that we can take of this is we don't have to project networks as an old guy. Even like me, you are an old guy. As I promised, I'll show you, and you can check in the exhibition hall, some Mikrotik creative combinations to help you to cover events like this. Oh, we have for the club, for the pool area, a box. You can put all the here I can show you more. You can put all the router boards inside. Here is the 912 to HEND and 5 gigahertz AC card also. Is in the Ogura booth, you can check. With 2 MIMO 4 dBi antennas and in 2.4 and 8 dBi's antenna in 5.8. You can check. Another one you can see in the Ogura booth too is a device that you can put in the ceiling as a ceiling or on your desk to like a guy told me this morning, with sex appeal. Yeah? You know what I mean? With sex appeal. So you can have the powerful Mikrotik inside a sex appeal device. Oh. Sex appeal. The conclusion. There is obviously a migration of the behavior of the indoor markets. Our customer is being more and more exigent. Yeah, he needs more bandwidth. He needs more control. He needs to move to 5 or 5 gigahertz AC. And you have to install a more complex system like CAPSMAN 2 in their network. Maybe we have to think that we are projecting some networks indoor using only 2.4 like we did 8 years ago. So you have to move, we have to move our thoughts to this year, to the device that we have this year. We are having bandwidth requirements and users quantity and projects. Sometimes we have to project an event, a temporary event, to many people outdoor. So I need to think and implement 5 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz AC, maybe, in the network to deal with the traffic with more and more bandwidth. And the last one, never try to cover a density event using only 2.4 gigahertz. Even with 1 million APs, you will fail. Yeah, because you don't have airtime, you don't have the capacity, you don't have channels to do it. Yeah? The restriction of the spectrum, as I told you before. So thank you very much. Enjoy the moon. And if you can see this sex appeal, go to exhibition hall in the middle, and you can check some of this combination, some of this solution in the Ogura Corporation booth. Thank you very much. Thank you all.